always looking for a convenient option, and this time of year we often find those seed starting kits starting to show up in our garden centers. Now you might look at them and think, well, that's got everything I need to start my seeds, but does it? And also they come in such an array of price ranges with different options and that sort of stuff. We thought we would take advantage of that and kind of compare some of those seed starting kits that are available to you. Now, the one that you often see showing up at a lot of garden centers and box stores is just this simple, basic plastic tray here. It's got a thin plastic cover over it, and it comes with 72 of these peat pots. You can see they're dried and they're pressed, and so what we need to do is put those in water and allow them to expand a little bit, and you can see how much they expand into, and this gives us a nice little planting surface. What you do is just put your seed straight in there. We add a little moisture to the bottom of it and then cover it. Now it also claims that it comes with some plant labels, but I must say it only came with about 6 plant labels, 1 for each row. Now this seed starting kit costs $8, so it's fairly cheap, and it'll grow about 72 plants for us. But again, you can see how thin this plastic is, and so you might only really get about 1 season out of this. The other thing is a lot of our seed starting kits are going to come with a plastic lid, and that's to retain that humidity where our seeds are trying to grow. Now this kit has a very shallow profile to it, and so what that means is as soon as our seeds start germinating, once they get any height to them, we're going to need to take this off, so allowing those seedlings to grow. Now the problem with that is as soon as you remove that, you've exposed it to any drafts that you might have, and these seedlings are very susceptible to drying out quickly. So while it's a good option, it's going to require a little bit more maintenance, and you might see a little bit slower results in this one. The other thing is you also want to make sure that you provide it with some additional light. We've just exposed these to natural sunlight because it didn't come with any. So our second kit here costs about $25. Now this one we ordered online, so you might not find it in garden centers, but you might in some of the nicer garden centers. And this one, you can see again, it comes with a plastic lid that has ventilation in it. Now the nice thing about this is as these seedlings get taller, and it allows for them to get taller in there, you can open these vents up, allowing for more airflow so that they can transition out of that humid environment but not dry out so quickly. You can see here that these didn't come with peat pots. What they came with are what's called these biocells. This is a styrofoam insert that's just kind of floating in a few inches of water, and then you put these inserts in there. They've got pre-drilled holes that you can put your seedlings in, and you can see we've had fairly good results with it. Now this came with good directions. It did not come with any labels, but it also came with a little bit of fertilizer. So this is a nice kit that you could probably get a couple of seasons out of. The other thing about this though is you will need to buy replacement biocells to fill your styrofoam. Now down here on the end we have our Cadillac seed starting kit, and this one came at a premium of $150, but it's one that's going to last you a little bit longer than just 1 season. You could definitely get more seasons out of this. Again, we've got a good hard plastic container and tray to grow these in that also again has vents to it so that we can open it up and slowly transition those seedlings. It came with these peat pot trays that again you have to pre-soak those and then plant your seeds in. It also came with a packet of labels and some fertilizers and some nice directions. Now what really sets this kit apart from the other two is this LED light that hangs above these seedlings, which is so important for new seedlings to get started. Also, it comes with this heating pad that you set your seedlings on. It's got a little information on here, including a few of your basic crops and how many days to expect for them to germinate. So, and what temperature to set that at. So we've got a really nice setup here. What I probably like best about this is it's so self-contained. You don't have to worry about finding any sort of grow light. With the other two kits, you need to think about what sunny window you're going to put them next to, or if you have a grow light. And if you do put them in a sunny window, you're going to have to rotate these kits around so that the seedlings don't start stretching towards that light. Now let's look at the plants themselves that we have growing in here and kind of compare how they're doing. So again, if we start back at our first cheaper $8 kit, we've got a few seedlings that are starting to come up. Now on this one, it didn't really come with any directions saying to pull the little netting apart, and so we just put our seeds directly in there. And you can see how some of those seedlings are having a little difficulty in getting out of those peat pots. But it's doing well. They are germinating. Just a little more higher maintenance. You want to check these more frequently, and it might take a little bit longer. Now moving down to our second seed kit, if you look at these, they've all germinated pretty uniformly. We've got several seedlings coming up. They just now are starting to get their true set of leaves. Now if you come down here to our premium kit, you might start thinking that they're not looking quite as good because they're pretty short. But in fact, if you look at the leaves, that's the important thing to show the progression and the age of the seedlings. We've got several sets of true leaves coming on. So those leaves that are already starting to look like tomatoes have developed. So because we've provided this overhead light, these seedlings haven't had to stretch for any light like these other ones. You can see how much taller these are. And stretching can be a real problem with seedlings, especially as they get a little bit bigger, because they tend to maybe want to break when you're handling them or transplanting them. And also when you put them out into the wind, it creates more liability that they might break. Whereas these are short, they're a little bit more stocky and stout. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the roots that are developing. You can see here that they both have fairly good roots on them. So we've got some good plants coming along here, and these are definitely warmer from the heating pad, which has helped create more uniform germination. So all in all, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the container that allows your plants to grow, but the light and the heating pad of this unit is really important and has really benefited our seedlings.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.